Why is it that every time we skip a podcast week, everything happens the day before the next week?
Punk ass.
Anyway.
We're starting off
Just
really
like
well.
Logan Paul.
Sorry, Brock. Go on, please.
Anyway.
Introduce the podcast.
Anyway, we're moving straight on from that. Anyway, so yeah, we're on the podcast we missed last week because everybody had some stuff going on, but we are back, and oh boy, did the world not let us forget that crap happened. So we're gonna get straight into our weeks here, and are you gonna let me? All right, there we go. Bree, since you popped up first, you can go.
All right. So my week was pretty chill. I've been kind of continuing like my vague New Year's. Hey, I'm Brianna. So I'm kind of continuing like my vague New Year's resolution of just trying to like reach out and just like connect with people more. One of those things is the Lay Crap podcast, which is on its second episode, which is available on most podcast platforms. So that's fun. And while watching Raw last night, I finally figured out like an idea for like an ages 6 to 11 a sample script I want to write. So thanks, Dominic Mysterio. You did one good thing.
Oh God,
that terrifies me that he gave you something for. Okay, all right. Anyway,
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm a little scared.
Mike, go ahead.
So yeah, last week I've been busy prepping for the anime podcast that we recorded last night. 27 new shows that we talked about.
Jeez.
So that was fun. And then coming up this week, we've got our final Oscars predictions. And we got a new series on Renegade Jukebox. We are covering all of Trivium's discography, each one album for each episode, and that's going to be fun.
Nice. All right. Kiona.
Oh, yes. Hi. So I have a very busy week this week. And it's not because of my own schedule. It's mostly because of a lot of things that are happening. I have just a lot of streaming going on with Red and her crew. We've been playing D&D. This past Sunday we played another round of it, and it was very, very cool. My bard character actually barded this time, so nice. I'm happy about that. By which I mean that he was buffing, with his party members and just kind of standing back, letting them do the fighting, but also giving them a lot of like bardic inspiration. Let's say, always good time. So we did that on Sunday, and it's just this week has been kind of a blur. I've been playing a lot of Avowed. Which is a game that I'm actually quite liking. Nice. I don't know. People are being kind of shitty about it, but I think the game is actually pretty good.
You know what? One thing that isn't shitty is the music.
Yeah, it's really good music, and also visually, it's good. Stunning.
Yeah.
I think Obsidian did a really good job with this game. I don't. Even the writing's not bothering me as much as I thought it would, because I heard that was the weakest aspect of it. And there are certain things that I wish would change. Like there is a lot of, it has that Destiny 1 thing of just throw a bunch of verbiage at you and you got to go into the lore and you got to look up everything and just to figure out what it is and stuff like that. But other than that, it's not a bad game. It's actually pretty good, and I'm enjoying the combat. I like knocking things out with my wand. Go figure. And I also just really, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So, it's been a good game. Red's birthday is on Friday, so we're gonna do a big stream and try to get her over to DreamHack in May. So we're still kind of doing that and raising money for her, just to give a quick plug there. And there's also going to be possibly a Jeopardy game on Saturday that you all could watch if you're free. That was the questions were made up by myself. So
okay.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Nice.
If we make it to Saturday, that's one of the goals. So
okay.
Hopefully. But a happy birthday week to my best friend Red, if she's listening.
Awesome. That's spectacular. Bree, what is Venus Theory?
Oh, the composer for Avowed.
Okay.
So Venus Theory Cameron, he's like a pretty big in the YouTube music space. Like he's done like a lot of plugins. Like his videos are amazing, and he's like so like free and like open source. And he's also funny as hell. So definitely check him out on YouTube. He's great.
Nice.
Very cool. Very
Speaking
cool.
on music, I've had Check by Baby No Money stuck in my head for like the past week. That okay. Josh Lozano, sir, if you are listening, that son of a bitch got me to play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League the past 2 weeks.
No.
How did he do that? Did he offer you a free copy of Bug Snacks? Is that what it is?
No.
Anyway, I'm never letting the Bug Snacks joke go, I tell you.
It was like he messaged me. For those that don't know, I helped him get his PS5 when it was still not in the like realm of easy to get consoles. I walked into my Best Buy and there was like 2 of them left, so I just walked past and whoop! I got one day one, so I just wanted to help someone, so I just grabbed it and started going through my phone contacts to see who I could help get this. Because I'm like, I'll buy it and you pay whatever, and then I helped them get theirs. Or at least their first one, I believe. I mean, anyway. And then he updates me every now and then what games he's playing. And he told me he was playing Suicide Squad because it was available for free on PSN at one point. So I grabbed it for the sake of just grabbing the game. And then he was playing through it, and he described it to me as the jealous ex-girlfriend that you can't seem to like let go of. And I was like, what? And he goes, if you played it, you get it. You don't want to like it, and it's hard to turn it back on, but once you do, it's just enough fun to play, but not enough fun to brag about. And that's it. Like, I put 11 hours in over 4 different gaming sessions, and I didn't want to play it till I turned it on, and then I played it. And it was enough to where there was stuff in it where I can honestly see what that game was supposed to be. And what that game was supposed to be was really good. Because you can tell like there was entire plot lines that just went because they wouldn't fit in the form of game they wanted. Like there's a setup.
Oh, hey, Crafty.
And hey, Crafty, and
hi, Crafty,
and there's like a whole setup with Wonder Woman like being close with the League and like believing in them, and then spoiler alert because someone's gonna play it. And a big climactic moment, Superman like has a knockout, drag-out brawl with Wonder Woman, and it's fantastic. And he kills her, just evaporates her right in front of the Justice League. While they're like have Waller, who's got a busted ankle, and they're rescuing her to get her into the Hall of Justice where they're safe, or they can help Diana. And they want to help Diana and like stick up for her because they pull this big whole thing like she's with us. They're sticking up to Superman, who could easily kill all of them. And like they had like one other scene where Diana's like, "What are you guys doing? You don't stand a chance." And you can see there's probably like 7 scenes in between then and there that just never happened to make that scene that could have been fucking awesome, just not awesome. And like they set up personal connections for why Deadshot should really hate the Green Lantern and all these other things I'll give this game credit. It was a game that was horribly misjudged by people leaking stuff that if you played the game for 2 minutes isn't as offensive as what people think. They showed you...
Yeah, I will say that.
They showed you shooting Batman. They showed the whatever with Flash. If you play that game for 10 minutes, you realize that's not the real Justice League.
Yeah.
They say the word clone 5,000 times in that game, but never outright tell you those are clones of the Justice League. But if you listen to files in the game or like radio transmissions, it becomes really obvious you're not killing the actual Justice League. You're killing Brainiac clones of the captive Justice League, which they then show in the game as you go along. Because like there's a scene where you're with the actual Flash And like as a trophy, Boomerang cuts his finger off. Then later on, he's got purple eyes and he comes to attack you and his hand is healed. I don't know if anyone knows comics. Flash doesn't have a superpower to grow pinkies back. Nope. So that's not the real Flash. So in this game's continuity, the entire Justice League is alive, but Diana. Because she gets actually killed by Superman.
Damn. She got fridged. I'm kidding. She gets killed in there and also by WB Games, but we'll get to that later. But
you just took that from me.
I know.
Double fridged.
But we're gonna get to that into the gaming chunk as we get past Buy or Sell. But don't worry, we're gonna talk about that because that was fucking.
But here's a quick thing: is double fridge called freezer?
Yeah, yeah. I would. Let's name it that.
I guess we can do that.
Coining a term. We're coining.
All right. So we're on to Buy or Sell here. We're going to get to these rather quick. There's not a ton of them, but we have a metric assload of gaming stuff to go through. All right.
Sure
Mike, Buy or Sell that Kathleen Kennedy is reportedly stepping down as a role as president of Lucasfilm at the end of 2025.
Damn.
I buy it. She's 71. It's
She's
time.
71?
71?
Yeah.
Dude, she produced E.T. E.T. came out over 40 years ago.
Dang. I just didn't realize that she was 71. Holy shit.
I blinked. Holy shit. Okay. Whoa.
She did Jurassic Park. She's literally one of the most prolific producers, but everyone's concerned.
But I just didn't make that connection that she would be in her 70s. Jesus.
Yeah, right. I mean, the only reason she kind of went to Lucasfilm is because she was George Lucas's friend.
Yeah.
Dear God. Holy hell. Yeah, okay. Wow. Yeah, Umbreon, exactly. She aged incredibly well.
For real.
Holy fuck.
For real.
Brie by herself. Holy.
Yeah, honestly,
that blows my mind.
Honestly,
I would buy that too, by the way, bro.
Yeah.
All right, but let's just be serious for a sec. Like, for real, she's been rumored to be out for a while. I mean, say what you will about Star Wars. I mean, I feel like since they moved more to Disney Plus, it's been more consistent. It
has.
And honestly, most of the stuff that went down, I'm not going to be a defender, but that was not all Kathleen Kennedy. Let's just be real here. As much as the nerds will tell you,
they didn't have a plan, and what everyone likes to forget is Marvel was a well-oiled machine moving on its own before Disney bought them.
Yeah,
they bought a thing that was working and just let them work. They bought Lucasfilm and then went, we have no idea for Star Wars films.
Literally, that's it. So I guess we'll just make it up as we go along. I mean, there shouldn't be any repercussions at all. It'll be fine, guys. Totally. But honestly,
No, Kiona,
you go. No, you go, Kiona. I'll finish it off in a sec. Just
Okay. Well, for me personally, I think that it is about time that we, maybe some new blood is needed. A new direction is needed, new leadership. I will just say that. But I honestly have huge amounts of respect for Kathleen Kennedy and what she's done. So obviously, tip of the hat to her.
Absolutely.
And a fantastic job.
I mean, Kathleen Kennedy, as much as nerds don't want to admit it, she's pretty much responsible for most of y'all's childhood if you were born in the 80s or 90s. And she's just earned a retirement. I mean, with all the crap she's had to put up with and all the not fun decisions that, she's been low-key kind of thrown under the bus for. I mean, I think she just deserves to be able to ride into the sunset.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Yeah.
All right, Kiona, buy or sell that DC's goal is to release 7 projects a year, 2 live-action films, 1 animated film, 2 live-action series, and 2 animated series.
So, I think that we might be perhaps overextending ourselves a little bit here, but I will say that 2 films a year is not it's not out of the question.
No, it's not.
Nor do I think that having an animated movie every year, that's not out of the question.
No, they've been putting out animated movies a year for a while.
Exactly. They've been doing that for a while. So they're a well-oiled machine at this point. I would say that in terms of bringing in the gaming division and sort of trying to trying to sort of make them a little bit closer, in line with what they're doing with their characters, which is something that Safran and Gunn have planned. I think that's an interesting tactic, and I hope that it succeeds for them. I don't know if it will entirely, but the 2 animated TV series I'm definitely interested in. I feel like they could do that. Their animated series, output has been pretty consistent over the years. 2 live action shows is interesting. I wonder what they're planning there.
One's Lantern.
So yeah, I mean, I buy it. Do I think everything's going to be super high quality? Probably not. But in terms of can they do it? Is it a possibility? Yes, it is. We'll see. We'll see though.
I'm not sure if I buy this just yet. I buy that they want to do this.
Yeah.
I have to see how the next 2 years go before I can really say with confidence, oh yeah, this is a great strategy. Like this year in July we've got Superman, and in August we're getting Peacemaker season 2.
Yeah.
And then I assume Lanterns is going to be like Q1 2026, and Supergirl is July 26th. And then we'll just see where we go from there.
Yeah. I agree with you, Mike. I don't know that I buy it as a good idea, but I buy it as a possibility of them doing it. So,
Bree.
I mean, before we go to like ripping WB apart, the thing that's most interesting to me is the Green Lantern show is actually connected to the My Ventures of Superman show. So it's kind of going to be interesting to kind of almost have like a new version of the old DC animated universe. So that's something that I'm looking forward to.
That's one that I'm really excited for. And the fact that just to piggyback off of what you said, we're getting 2 Green Lantern shows. One that's like for adults with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and then the one for like teens and young adults is Jessica Cruz, which I think is a good decision.
Yeah, I mean, the other ones I'm kind of like, okay, slight question mark, but I mean, in terms of like stuff with animation, like as long as more projects are going to be greenlit, like I'm fine with it. It's more honestly the live action stuff that I have more question marks. But then again, like animation at DC has always been one of the more consistent things that they've had.
Yep.
All right, Mike, buy or sell per Deadline that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is set to play the lead role in Martin Scorsese's new movie about a ruthless Hawaiian crime boss.
I buy the fact that that everyone involved wants to make this movie, but Martin Scorsese has like 50 other projects in development. So who knows if this is actually going to come to fruition? It probably will because of
just the cartoon, Umbreon, not HBO Lanterns.
Yeah. I'm half buying this.
Gotcha. Deanna, there.
Do I want to see it? Yes. Is he going to pee in the water bottles? That's what I want to know.
No, he's going to pee into a wine glass. That's a Scorsese film, good sir.
Ah, there you go. Yes. They'll adapt it. To make it work.
But no,
what is the fancy bottle of a loot? Not a loot. What is that fancy of wine? Shoot
a
or
flask?
what? No. What's the fancy thing?
Oh, a decanter?
No, it's like a flute, like a really long wine. I can't remember what. It's like a lute. It's something like a lute. I can't think of what it's called.
Is that not called a decanter?
I want to say it's called like a shoot or something like that. It sounds like lute or shoot. I can't think of what the heck it's called. But yeah, anyway.
I mean, it's interesting. I like the setting because I think that'll be an interesting thing to explore for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
It is a shoot, Brock.
It is a shoot? Okay, that's what it was. That's what I was trying to think of. Okay.
it's
All
a
right.
shoot.
Yes.
It's a shoot, brother.
It's a shoot, brother. Guess
Oh no, is there another gas leak?
we're just starting.
Of course.
I got
course.
some press briefings to read. Don't worry, we got time.
Yay. I'm happy about that.
Kiona, buy or sell a Sifu movie in the works at Netflix with Chad Stahelski to produce the movie.
I would be very excited to see this, so I'm going to say I buy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
Especially
literally
with
just
Stahelski involved.
I was literally just talking about them trying something with Sifu the other day. So I'm like,
Yeah.
why not?
At least somebody's doing something with it.
Yes.
Yeah, and Stahelski is a perfect choice for this.
Yes. And he's just producing
Oh,
it, so I
God.
don't know who's.
Why do I envision this happening where like it's gonna be a movie and then all of a sudden in the middle of the movie it just becomes like a soccer match?
It's not their sequel game. Don't worry. Mike, buy or sell that Will Smith says Hancock 2 is in the works and they plan to offer the role to Zendaya.
You know what? I buy it because of Zendaya. Depending on her schedule, if she says yes to this, it's gonna be a big hit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bree?
Yep.
I mean, having Zendaya in your movie is basically like printing free Monopoly money.
You're not super powered Rue.
Oh man, season 3 is getting lit.
Oh God, Kiona.
Yes. I would. Yeah. I mean, I buy it. I'm with you on this one.
All right. Kiona, buy or sell that a new live-action Street Fighter film finds its director with, I'm going to mispronounce this, Kaito Sakurai?
Hold on, let me see if I can help you with that.
How do you pronounce that?
Kitao Sakurai?
Sakurai? Bad Trip in the Eric Andre Show. It is set March 20th, 2026 release date. The movie is being co-produced by Legendary with deep involvement by Capcom.
They better have deep involvement after the last two. I guess third time's the charm, right? We'll see. We'll see how this all pans out. I don't know.
Last one, technically, The Legend of Chun-Li or whatever that was.
It was The Legend of Chun-Li.
That was what, 2010?
Which had Liu Kang playing, what was his name? Gen?
I think so.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that's kind of funky. But, I don't hate the idea of them trying again and giving it a shot one more time. Just because, I think that if they did it right, it could be something pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
What are the odds that they're going to do it right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't tried Capcom try a film without W.S. Anderson involved, so...
Yeah, I mean, hey, here you go.
Brave new world here.
It's a brave new world. Yeah, exactly.
All I'm saying, have Alan Richson play Guile.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Absolutely.
And have him have the hair. And that's all I want.
Okay, hear me out here. What if they based it off the Alpha series instead of Street Fighter 2, though?
I'm going to say that 90% of the population besides you and me wouldn't know the difference.
That's true. They sort of did that with Legend of Chun-Li anyway, so I don't know that they want to go back there, because they did technically have like Rose and, Gen, and
they're going to do the people they know as popular to make
they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Kiona, buy or sell that Phil Spencer is not trying to move PlayStation and Nintendo players all over to Xbox anymore. Let's just allow people to play, and yes, the 70% we make on games on the other platforms helps us.
No, really? You think? Uncle Phil.
Oh, Phil, you silly boy.
Uncle Phil. I have to talk to you, sir, about your hand motions and also about where you're taking this business, my friend.
That's not a big...
That is a good choice,
like that.
Umbreon. That is a really good choice, actually.
Yes.
So I Xbox needs to have a better idea of where they want to go in the future. I mean, are we just Game Pass now? Is that entirely what
honestly
Xbox
think
is?
that's what it's going to turn into.
I think that's what it is, honestly, at this point, because like, who's buying their consoles?
They're telling them not to.
Yeah, they're telling you not to. They're telling you that the toaster of the future is going to be your Xbox. It's going to be the X Toast. It's going to be like, your ex-girlfriend is going to be an Xbox anyway, or ex-boyfriend.
And
it's going to be the Xbox.
If you have a computer, there's no point. A lot of people
if you have a PC that's capable of gaming, what is the point?
At this point, a lot of people believe Fable just got delayed so they can release it at the same time as the PlayStation 5 version.
Why the hell not? At this point, I mean, why not? How did Forza Horizon do on PlayStation and PC and all that stuff? I mean, on PlayStation specifically.
Is it out yet? Did it release yet?
I'm pretty sure it is,
going
right?
to. Did it? Forza 5?
Horizon 5? I'm pretty sure it is.
Forza Horizon 5 PS5? Comes to PS5 in spring of 2025.
Oh, okay, so it's not out yet. Well, I mean, obviously it's going to be a big deal when it does. So yeah, and like you said, the 70% that they're making.
Yeah.
Why the hell not at this point? Just go multi-platform.
They should just call it Microsoft Gaming. Microsoft Gaming.
Oh, don't call it that.
You don't have an Xbox. What is the Xbox anymore?
Well, just keep I don't know. Just keep the games division called Xbox or something. I don't know. I mean, I hate the idea of it becoming Microsoft Games.
The only difference is that name at this point.
So corporate.
Because
now, it's already corporate.
A bread box is an Xbox, so they don't know what an Xbox is.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll see.
You know what the worst thing would be is if they call it co-pilot gaming.
No, just wait. I got a thing down there that makes it look like they're just telling you it's going to be a PC, but they're not going to say it out loud. All right, last buy or sell. Mike, buy or sell a live-action Dungeons & Dragons. The Forgotten Realms is in the works at Netflix with Sean Levy producing the series.
Yeah, I buy this. You know what else I buy? People actually watching Honor Among Thieves, which will be on Netflix tomorrow.
Which is amazing, by the way.
It's great.
I know that everyone poo-poos watching something just because it's called The Thing. Dungeons & Dragons is about the only one where I can think of where you go to watch it because it's Dungeons & Dragons.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's about the only time that I can think of off the top of my head where the brand is the actual thing you go to watch the movie for.
Yeah, that's true.
And even if you don't care about the brand, it's still just a fun adventure movie.
It is. I know I've said plenty of times, but when that illusion spell breaks, that is one of the that is some of the hardest I've laughed in a theater in my fucking life. Oh my god.
Paramount made it because Paramount can't market any of their actually good movies for shit.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
Yeah, legitimately, I'm surprised they haven't, fucked up Sonic. I mean, technically they did it first, but then because Sonic fans are Sonic fans, they saved it. Paramount deserves no credit. That was all Sonic fans. They're like, no, not again.
The first time people encouraged cyberbullying. They cyberbullied an entire studio into a successful franchise.
So I'm sorry, I was interrupted. So what were we talking about just now? Was it the Forgotten Realms?
Forgotten Realms, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I buy it. I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, anyways, remember when we said they killed Wonder Woman in the Suicide Squad game? They also killed her development studio. Warner Brothers Games is shutting down multiple studios. Monolith Productions, the people that brought you Fear, Condemned, Shadow of War, and Mordor. All very good games. And every one of you jackasses that skipped Shadow of War because there was loot boxes in it, shame on you, because if you played the actual game, you are literally drowned with in-game currency to buy those in-game if you wanted them. You skipped one of the best games of the last generation because of a dumb tactic by a studio that was forced upon them.
Yep.
And now the Wonder Woman game's been canceled. them, shoot,
God,
player
Fear
first
was
games.
so good too.
Fear was good. So them, player first games, and WB San Diego all have been canceled, and WB confirmed that they recognize Monolith's storied history, which I believe this year or last year they just celebrated their 30th anniversary as a studio. We recognize their storied history. This is a strategic change to focus on their key IPs like DC, brackets, mostly Batman, Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, and Game of Thrones.
About that.
So, is this the axe? Is this his axe coming down?
It feels like the axe.
It feels like the axe.
Not only that, but I guess the Nemesis system is gone.
Yeah, I guess that's gone. Okay, I guess yeah.
For those that don't know, anyone who played any of the Shadow of games, there was a system called the Nemesis system where you could die in game, and the thing that killed you would get a promotion, and you could gain enemies throughout the game and have them remember you and have great banter. And then they patented it, so only that studio could use it. One of the most innovative gaming systems in the past decade. And they were going to put it in a Wonder Woman game. Couldn't figure it out. So now it just doesn't exist. Yeah.
Yup.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. But onto an actually good game. And here's the thing. Because of this, I've been looking to what I'm going to do as my games I've already played. Like after Horizon's done, I'm going through the Shadow of games because all of them are fucking phenomenal. I don't like, I'm hoping that somehow this situation turns into a Tango Gameworks and someone buys them because WB didn't want them anymore.
Hopefully.
Because that's a talented as hell gaming studio.
Yeah.
Like,
really
everyone likes to
talented.
brag
Really
about
good.
how good Arkham Knight looked on the PS4 because it did. It still looks better than most games that are made today. The same
It
thing with
looks
Shadow
amazing.
of War. Shadow of War is another one of those games that looks better than what most games are made today.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
genuinely
I
one of the
agree.
best playing games I've ever touched in my entire life. But anyway,
That was
onto
the
some
sequel, correct? That because
Yes.
Mordor was the first one, and then War was
Yeah.
the sequel. Okay.
War.
Yeah.
Just did everything they had in there and then times it by 100 and made the ending boss fight good. Because the one worst thing about Mordor, it is a button tutorial on how you take down Sauron.
True,
It was very bad. Rest of the game's fantastic though. Anyway, on to some good gaming news. Split Fiction's Friend Pass, for those that don't know, means that if one of their games, if you own it and you want to play multiplayer with someone, they don't have to own the game.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's phenomenal. Their free pass now includes crossplay for the first time, so you can play with anyone on any system. They don't have to own it.
So, wait, hold on. The friend pass, does that only go for one other person, or is that for like?
Well,
is
they're only the two people, so you're playing with someone you want to play with, so you shoot them the friend pass and they can play with you. They're only 2-player games, so
Right. But I guess what I'm saying is that you can reuse the friend pass.
I would imagine whoever you want to play with can have it. I've never used it, but I've never seen it's restricted as a one-time thing. But
Curious. All right.
Yeah. All right. So I need to bring up some tweets here to verify the thing I'm going to talk about because Xbox I thought was doing a cool thing. And then Satya just went wrong.
Well, then
I can't help but shoot myself in the foot.
Fucking CEO guy got involved.
Yeah. So let me see here. Where are them freaking tweets? Gosh dang it! I lost it. But Xbox Muse is a new AI thing that they had developed
AI.
that was for, how do I want to put this? That could like mimic game controlling and other things like that and like pattern recognize and things like that. And what it was sounding like was it was going to be an awesome thing for game preservation.
For developers also.
And it was going to be like, hey, this really old game that can't play off current things, we can send Muse into it, have it check out the gaming thing, and then map that to a modern controller so you can play older games, and it was really good for game preservation. And then Satya went, ha! You thought we liked gamers. And then he said, the Xbox will have a catalog of games that will soon start using AI/Muse models, said the Microsoft CEO. We are going to train these models to generate and then start playing them. In fact, when Phil Spencer first showed it to me, he had an Xbox controller, and this model basically took the input and generated the output based on the input. That's how that works. And it was consistent with the game. To me, that's a massive moment of wow. It kind of like the first time I saw ChatGPT complete sentences.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Or DALL-E Draw or Sora. This is one of those moments. Have you ever said a thing that just made you go, remember that thing that we thought was really uncreative? This was just like that.
Yeah, this just gets worse the more,
it's
the
good
more
news,
I hear it.
Right? 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 No. I've never seen, I know I love the shit on Xbox, but I've never seen a group of heads of a studio between Sarah Bond, Phil Spencer, and Satya where one of them would say something, the other one would go, actually, they're full of shit and that's bad because this is what we're actually doing, so feel bad about it for later. I've never seen heads of a studio actively go, hey, would you feel really bad if we did this? Because we're planning on doing that later. So forget the good news you thought you heard from blank and blank earlier today.
It's simply incredible. Wow, what great corporate communication.
Satya doesn't give a shit about anything.
No.
And I think Phil was actually, our dear Uncle Phil was trying to assuage our fears a little bit here, maybe at the risk of sounding hopelessly naive here, but I just think that he was trying to assuage, that like we're not going to do this, entirely just to we're actually trying to be thoughtful about this and how we implement it and, use it to help developers and not be a complete and utter, whatever false creation tool. And I just think it fell apart because the CEO guy doesn't give two shits about gamers. He doesn't give two shits about creativity.
He just likes
they don't
I'm
care. Convinced they never have daily chats.
No,
they all work on their own
No.
thing, show it to the other one and go, I'm going to think up a press briefing to make this sound as worse as possible. Say it, Phil, and then just leaves. Yeah.
You know what the thing that's crazy is that I don't know, I don't keep too much up with stocks anymore, but if you've seen NVIDIA's possible earnings report, I think tomorrow,
Yeah.
I hope you like bubbles Glinda from Wicked, because there's going to be some bubbles possibly bursting into flames that'll burn down the rainforest.
Not to mention when they're you really need to not have any worse news when they're talking about the oh no, we'll bring that up later. All right, anyway, so there was a really big interview with Shuhei Yoshida that I'm going to try and kind of narrow some of this down, but he talked about some really cool shit that I wanted to bring up that I thought was, how much money are these AI companies giving studios and they keep praising the slop? I have no freaking idea, dude. I have no idea. All right. Shuhei Yoshida told a story of how Mark Cerny used his Japanese skills to get his company the first PlayStation dev kit for the US. There's a funny story. I didn't know if this has been published before, talking about PlayStation, because we're launching in Japan first. We thought we'd start sign licensing contracts with publishers and developers to send out dev kits, but only in Japan. Mark Cerny visited us asking for a dev kit. I told him, no, we only sign contracts with Japanese developers right now. He said, well, can I become a Japanese developer? I said, sorry, but we only have contracts written in Japanese. He said, there's no problem. Give me one. The next day, he came back with his signature on it. Crystal Dynamics, this U.S. company, became our first company with a dev kit. Later on, he told me what he'd done. He hadn't consulted with the headquarters at all. He just signed the deal himself and came back with it to my office. That caused some problems later on, but that's how he got the first dev kit for an American company. He could read Japanese, of course. He worked with Sega in Japan. He was working with Yuji Naka to make Sonic the Hedgehog. He was able to take advantage of that. I just love where he went, hold on. Yeah, we'd like a dev kit. You signed what? Mark Cerny's a fucking maniac.
Certainly sounds like it.
I love him to death. That guy's awesome.
Good job, Dana Carvey. I'll say that.
But he's a fucking maniac.
What a Chad.
Oh, he's fantastic. Total Chad. You're not wrong.
It almost makes me want to forgive him for Knack. But not Knack 2.
Hey, man. They're going to make Knack 4, and it's going to sell thousands of copies. Just you wait.
Jesus Christ.
But I just like that. We're only going to sell to Japanese people. Hi, I read Japanese. Can I have the contract? All right. So in that same interview, he also said that PC ports are mainly aimed at Chinese markets where PC is dominant. He said that while he was also, I want to clear some crap up while Herman is not totally at this. Shuhei shot a bunch of shit in the foot for what people have been blaming the wrong people for certain stuff. He said that they mostly market the PC ports for the Chinese market where PC is there, and said that he was the one who signed the prototype deal for Concord. So everyone that's been throwing around the obviously Photoshop tweet that Herman Hiltz has been fostering and nurturing Concord as a baby on his teat and loved it so much and it's the best thing ever. And also these so-called interviews where he said it was the future of their company, but yet no one can bring up the video. How about you actually hate Herman Hiltz for stuff he's done and not fake shit? Like, I'm all for hating people, but do it for stuff they did. Like, for real. All right. And then Shuhei in that interview said, when I visited and met with Firewalk, a really small team, the core team, it felt like they were really experienced and talented group of people to work on an online game. So that was under my contract time that Concord was started. Mm-hmm. This is all in a big interview with Sacred Symbols. We're almost through this. I'm trying to get through as fast as I can. Sacred Symbols, Shuhei Yoshida said that the Japan studio closed because the market for AA games disappeared and PlayStation was only looking for AAA titles, which I believe them that 1,000% on. During my time, people give me credit, but one of the things I was not successful at was having a successful service game. And the other things I was not able to have was an amazing games made in Japan. Other than Gran Turismo, we had only made great products, but didn't have any AAA level successful products. That became more and more important as the big games became bigger and the indie games filled the gap and the AA market seems to have disappeared, which I'm going to compare that to, it's kind of the same thing that happened to movies. This has kind of happened to every form of entertainment. Middle ground doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm. True.
So I believe him there. Most of the IPs that Japan Studio had were AA sized group, and the market became a really difficult kind of games. For example, after Gravity Rush 2, after director Kiona, you want to try that?
Keiichiro Toyama.
Toyama, thank you. Tried to come up with a new concept, but we were not able to greenlight any new concepts, even though they were really interesting. But yeah,
I think it's really sad that the AA gaming space, especially in Japan, has disappeared. Because I grew up in that time of like I said, Dreamcast was my favorite system of all time, favorite console of all time. And so like that, if you look at that, that's filled with AA, what we would call AA experiences, because it's all like arcade games and it's all like, smaller budgeted, but crazy titles like Seaman, you know what I mean? Like you ain't going to see that shit today. So I just think that, it's really sad that that's disappeared. And I think a lot of creativity has also disappeared because of it. When it comes to Concord, if you look at the way that game was sort of shown off and stuff like that, like I kind of didn't love the whole like dime store Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. But what I did like was I enjoyed seeing like certain elements from Destiny that were sort of put in there. Like you could tell that the team was experienced. So I wish that game
people didn't
was
get to see. They were going to have actual videos of lore.
They were going to have exactly. Like, I mean, so I might have warmed up to it. Who knows? But I don't think launching it as a live service and charging $40 for it or whatever it was, I don't think that was a good decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's the kind of thing where like, yeah, it's just the way, like you said, Brock, it's just the way the entertainment is going, unfortunately. And I think that, you know, the market's become more and more homogenous, and it's just sad to see. But
yeah, it is.
Good thing we got indie developers, and you know, and also like the way that they're making games now, they can fill that space that was sort of taken up by the AA titles back in the day. Mm-hmm. Like I'm looking on Twitter and stuff, and I'm seeing like a lot of these small teams that are making games now. That one game that I keep on talking up to everybody that'll hear me, Spine. Yeah. That game is awesome looking, and it looks AAA quality in terms of what they're showing off. So, you know, yeah.
And then
there was a fighting game that came out.
Yeah.
There was a fighting game that came out like earlier this year, or maybe it was last year by now, called Corrupt, which was done by like a single developer.
Holy shit! A Jacob appeared.
Pretty awesome. Hey Jacob, nice to see you, buddy. But yeah, I mean it's
we're starting to get some more AA style games like Evil West. We're starting to get little ones like that.
Really good.
And that
I kind of
like
think that
old AA 360 game.
Yeah. It really did. And I think that one game that was kind of like Kena or Kana?
Yeah.
Kana, I think it was.
I believe it's Kana.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Very good. And I think that like, what's that game that we just saw that was called like Metal something? The one that we thought was
Metal Eden?
Yeah, Metal Eden. That looks like kind of a AA title in a way, like Ghost Runner sort of thing, but like it looks really, really cool. So yeah. I mean, we're seeing like smaller teams that are still putting out work that could be considered like AA. So
absolutely. All right.
That's the point that I was making.
So anyway, remember when we said that Phil made some really good statements and they like to shoot themselves in the foot later on? Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer has said that Microsoft isn't trying to force players away from game ownership by pushing them towards Game Pass.
Sure, Phil.
Sure, Phil.
Hey, Phil, what do you not have if you have Game Pass? Ownership
we're gonna have to have another talk.
You play. I love Phil to death. I could tell he's a gamer that actually plays things.
Honestly,
but these statements are so stupid. These statements are so dumb.
About it. Phil's like a decent, like he's like a gamer person like the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like you can clearly see he has passion for it. You can clearly tell. But it's so like the messaging is so muddled, and I think that they just don't know what they're doing really right now at this point, you know?
No.
But he's doing a lot. You know what though? I will say I prefer his approach compared to Don Matrick.
So any approach at all?
Yes.
I saw a quote again that I forgot the other day. That like a lot of people, and it's a big thing that Xbox has over PlayStation, I'll agree, they have a lot better setup for backwards compatibility. Do you know a big statement I forgot that Don Matrick said? If you're into backwards compatibility, then you may just be backwards.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
I remember that, too.
Yeah.
I remember that.
God, remember when he thought the Xbox should be something that was involved in everything and happens to also play games? And always online DRM, and you need to have a Kinect?
The most joyful and utterly hilarious takedown was just that one E3 that happened where they were doing the TV. Yeah, and then he was like, this is how you play backwards compatible games on our system. Game to the person. Yeah, this is how we trade games.
Yeah, there was something where it's like you always have to have the DRM on. So like if you play the game once, you can't borrow it to a friend. So then at the next E3 of PlayStation was just like, here's how you borrow games on PlayStation. And he just hands them a case.
Just hands it over.
I was dead.
Fantastic,
I was
man.
gone. I'm like, wow.
Sony has had some epic takedowns in their day. Like the first one was that first launch of the PlayStation when everybody was freaking out because the Sega Saturn launched at $399. And then the dude just goes up, Steve Race it was, who had worked at Sega, just goes right up to the podium and he just goes like, this is their entire press conference at E3. $299, steps away. Everybody applauds. That was it.
It was fantastic.
That was fantabulous. I loved it.
Oh, well, we do not speak of that.
Oh God, let's not speak of that. Oh,
Jacob,
geez.
that song kills headsets. I don't want to talk
cursed.
about that. Man, I don't know which console I'm going to get. Sees more new BS about the Expo. Never mind, I'm going to get a PS4.
Yep. That's what made me go and get a PS4.
Man, that company was just... Like I said, they have the most inept CEOs of everything. It's freaking unreal, Adams.
When they first started out with the original Xbox, like that was a good team that they had, and then it just went downhill from there.
They never had a good one since. They just haven't.
Nope. Since Peter Moore left, maybe.
Yeah. Peter Moore, he didn't want anymore. Anyway,
he didn't want it no more.
All right, one minor little thing from PlayStation here. Sony reporting on which I'm openly seeing from all the reports, not expected super success of the PlayStation Portal. Reporting on the PlayStation Portal cloud streaming beta, by leveraging the lessons from the beta test, we aim to further improve the streaming game and user experiences so users can enjoy PlayStation games anytime, anywhere, and even more easily. Therefore, they're going to make the next version just be a PSP.
Yes.
That's what it sounds
Why
like,
the hell
yeah.
not?
Which, I have one of these. This is one of the best feeling and playing portable devices I've ever had. If this becomes a straight up streaming device on top of it being
they should do it.
I can't think of the word now. What is the original intent? The phrasing. The phrase where it's on share. No. Where you're playing it on top of it's on and you're playing it on this and it has to be on the screen.
Oh,
emulator?
No! The term, I can't think of it.
Not cloud.
Not cloud. I can't think of it. Oh my gosh. It's like screen share, but it's over
mirroring?
No, gosh dang it.
No, it's not that.
Blanking. Hold on. What is it? It was
remote play.
Remote play. That's what it was. Yes. Thank God. Dear Lord, I'm dying out here. All right. Anyway, but yeah, if that gets turned into a straight up streaming device, that is going to be the best thing that I have. Now that I'm traveling more.
Pretty damn good. Let me tell you.
All right. Anyway, so now on to Xbox plans. So the next Xbox to be focused on, more like a PC than a console. Shocker, maybe you should just buy a PC. AI frame and generation focus. Windows. Not a single piece of hardware. Doesn't sound like...
What does that even mean?
That doesn't sound like a console.
No, it sounds like you're building a PC, Tom. I don't know about the rest of you, but... if they come out with just a PC and it says Xbox on it, I think I might explode.
And it has like the most shittiest specs ever. Literally, like you could run games better on a fucking Mac, like that level of shitty.
I might actually explode. Here is your Xbox gaming thing. Do you want to call it a gaming PC? No, because it's not.
They should design it in the same form factor as that original prototype that they had Bill Gates come out with The Rock way back in 2000.
It's a gaming machine. A personal gaming machine.
What if they make
it's
the
a
Xbox
personal
fridge?
console?
What if they make the Xbox fridge and like actually make it an Xbox, but also a fridge?
I don't want to. I hate this life that we're creating.
So do
I just, isn't that, what is that? What is that meme? Isn't that slavery with extra steps? What is that meme? Isn't this just building a gaming PC with extra steps? Like, what are we?
The X console. It's not a console anymore.
It's not a count. It's not a
It's
personal.
beyond a console.
It's not a personal.
Ascended.
It's not a. It's not a personal computer. It's a personal console. It's a PC.
Yes, it's the PC. Xbox PC.
All right. So, me and Kiona and anyone else who's a gamer normally has pretty fond memories of BioWare. Now, there's a report coming out that BioWare devs were reportedly so burnt out they wanted one game to fail to make the studio realize this wasn't the right way to make games. Hey, Kiona, do you remember what they used to call how they made games at BioWare?
The BioWare magic.
Where it just happened to work out in the end.
Yes.
At one point,
Absolutely.
BioWare... Yeah.
I believed in it.
Yeah, so apparently a lot of people internally were hoping their games would bomb to make them realize, hey, we need to not have this happen. And one of the quotes was that they wanted Dragon Age Inquisition to fail in order for people to realize this is the right way to make games, and then it won Game of the Year.
Ooh.
Whoops.
And then, like a bolt of lightning from the heavens,
Anthem! I just put,
yes, indeed.
Oh, here's the thing.
Anthem wasn't bad.
Anthem wasn't bad. It was a game made by a studio that was not meant to support that game.
Yeah.
Because at its heart...
Similar, right? Similar situation to what we see now with a bunch of games, yeah.
Yeah, because... For those that don't know, that had the most easiest in-game excuse to make whatever you want. It had the Anthem of Creation, where you just threw shit into a magical blah and it shat something out. You could have made whatever you wanted. It was the Iron Man game that no one had.
Yes.
It's the same vibe as when South Park wanted the show to get canceled.
Or Family Guy. I know Seth MacFarlane has wanted the show to end for a while.
Jacob, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I had no freaking idea that A24 was trying to make a Barney movie. I'm going to be really honest with you.
I was dead for a while.
Yeah, I think I threw that in the chat earlier today.
I missed that. Then I'm sorry.
all good. All we know about it is that Io Debris is writing the screenplay. Daniel Kaluuya is producing, and it's going to be weird.
Yeah,
sounds good to me. Make it weird.
Absolutely.
Make it very, very weird.
Speaking of weird, Remedy Games has had some news come out. Alan Wake 2 has officially broke even as a start to accrue royalties.
Oh, God.
For those that don't know, that thing has been stuck on the Epic Game Store and can't go on Steam. So it has been cratering in sales because no one wants to go on the Epic Game Store. I hear Josh crying somewhere. But anyway, so Max Payne 2, 1 and 2 Remake is in steady progress, full production as they head towards key objectives with publisher Rockstar, which Rockstar's publishing it, so you're in good state there. And Control 2 will begin full production this month.
Ooh, I really liked Control. So, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I have to look into this. This was one I was looking forward to. Apparently, Nintendo is trying to file more anti-Pal World lawsuits, but in the USA this time. And apparently, they're failing horribly.
Ooh, good.
Nintendo applying for anti-Pal World patents in the US with a whopping 22 out of 23 rejected.
Let me have my Pokemon slavery game. Damn it.
While there isn't active lawsuits in the U.S. just yet, Nintendo is making moves to indicate that they might be laying groundwork for future litigation.
It's not going to be taken out of context. It's not going to be taken out of context.
Nintendo, an ongoing patent infringement lawsuit against Pocket Pair, creators of Pal World, is primarily confined to Japan so far. They were seeking over $66,000 in damages and 3 patent claim, blah, 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 blah. It appears they're trying to go to the U.S. While there isn't an active lawsuit yet, they're making moves to indicate they might be laying the groundwork for future litigation. Specifically, Nintendo has been trying to make and expand a patent portfolio in the United States by building a legal foundation that could support future case, much like their current underway in the patents in Japan. oh god.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they don't have all of them listed, but yeah, they have a smooth switching and writing objectives in the game is one that they're trying to patent a lawsuit for. That you can ride a Pokemon. Something that I'll say to you was shown in a Pal World trailer before it was in a Pokemon game.
I'm surprised they're not suing them over the fact that the pals use guns.
Well, hey, man. They can't sue them over Pal World causing someone epilepsy yet.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing patented by Nintendo.
That is a thing patented by Nintendo.
And only
yes,
Pokemon
indeed.
can do that.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So I'm not going to get political here, but I want to ask your guys' opinion on something that is somewhat political. So a gaming news reporter that works for IGN, who has been getting, stellar people to work for them lately, they put Monster Hunter Wilds below Dragon Age Veilguard recently.
Interesting.
Yeah, but a games journalist for IGN and PC Gamer admits to political activism in gaming reviews and said that any game that includes the Gulf of America will be automatically deducted points. So if it's even on a map, on a game, on a wall, it will be deducted points. I understand you don't like people, but if that game is the next Half-Life and it gets a point off because of a map on a wall, because you're upset at a president you don't like,
that might be overkill.
What are we even doing here? What are we even doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't deduct points for that. I mean, geez.
I mean, I put it on the review, but I'm like, that's so petty. But then again, this is the same website that, went full borderline gooner for transphobic wizard games, so...
You're not wrong. You're not
Weird,
wrong.
mate.
You're trying. If someone has a Pal World, even as a frying pan, as a fry... Hold on. Whoa. I need to read this how you originally wrote this. If someone in Pal World ever uses a frying pan as a frying pan, then they're screwed.
I'll fry you in my pan.
I'll fry you and I pan.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, so we're not out of the studio shutdowns quite yet. Kiona,
Oh, God,
I know you and me are going
to... there's more?
There's more. Kiona,
wait,
there's
more.
one. There's one in here that you and me wish got shut down, but didn't.
Yeah.
So, NetEase plans to sell or shut down several of their studios. Suspensions of operations and job cuts in Canadian developer Worlds Untold, production freeze, spending costs, and their needs for new funding at Jar of Sparks, Liquid Swords laying off works due to shifting market conditions. GameFile learned cuts don't end here. NetEase is reportedly and actively shopping around more of their non-Chinese studios. Sources claim that NetEase is planning to divest itself in majorities of overseas teams, which may lead to a potential closure of more than a dozen if they can't secure future funding beyond NetEase. NetEase declined to comment. Quantic Dream, the studio behind Detroit Become Human, is one of the overseas studios that NetEase owns, which may no longer be in danger, which apparently they aren't. They're still making that Star Wars Eclipse game that has had nothing done, even though it got announced 4 years ago.
Yeah, what?
Because God knows I wanted nothing more in my Star Wars than repeated rape scenes and unneeded nudity. For those that don't think that's in every single David Cage game, go replay some of them. You're forgetting how bad they are.
Yeah.
Quantic Dream. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, it is 4 years old. It was up to 2021.
Jesus Christ.
What publisher would you hope to acquire Quantic Dream if they were in danger? No one. They have a farting ball sack in their studio. I'm not kidding.
What? And we're not just talking about David Cage.
No, the one on the wall, not the one that runs the studio.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway, so, another one! Bloomberg reports that Niantic Incorporated is in talks to sell its video game business to a Saudi Arabia-controlled Skullplay Interactive for about $3.5 billion. An agreement would involve Pokemon Go as well as other mobile games. So one of the biggest mobile games there are. Yeah, Jacob, I'm not joking. Go look up Farting Ballsack Quantic Dream Studios. I'm not joking. The Gen Z version of Blizzard. The Gen Z version of Activision, which had the Bill Cosby suite. Yes, except it farts. You're correct, Ghost Pringle. You're correct. So.
Oh, no.
Okay, I need to look this up because I forgot what his original lawsuit was. So Christopher Barrett was suing
Bungie,
suing Bungie for $200 million.
Yeah.
And then Sony went, oh, wait, do you remember those text messages you sent?
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
And Barrett, so remember when what was his name? Bo DeMeo just couldn't shut the fuck up? Ready for the gaming version of that. Sony Interactive has responded to former Bungie creative director Christopher Barrett's wrongful termination and defamation lawsuit, which were first reported by GameFile. He was trying to sue them for $200 million in this lawsuit. And then he was fired and going on. And then they brought up Barrett was fired on that. And then Sony's lawyer, after he'd been fired, accused multiple female subordinates and female subordinates and employees for inappropriate and disturbing written and verbal communications. This was brought up after he decided to sue them instead of just shutting the fuck up. So, not limited to, Barrett asked Victim 1 to play Truth or Dare over text messages and inquired, what do you think is your best and worst feature physically? He then told her in the text message later that she was hot. Despite Victim 1's explicit request in writing for Barrett to recognize boundaries, he called her late at night while drunk, asking to keep her on FaceTime call for hours, moved down a dark hallway to his bedroom, and suggestively told her, I can't believe I'm lying in bed talking to Victim A, which she abruptly hung up. Barrett sent Victim 2 Instagram direct messages stating, you are the holy grail. I hope to find a person worthy of your attention. I hope you find a person worthy of your attention, and qualified it with, I'm not hitting on you. I hope it doesn't feel like that. I'm married, but can I be honest? You're the 0.0000001 and better be treated like that forever. When Victim 2 responded that her boyfriend treats her very well, Barrett responded, he better, because I would hit on you if he wasn't.
Oh.
Remind you, later on, he said he wasn't trying to hit on her earlier in the message. And then Barrett also sent Victim 2 an Instagram direct message asking, do you want to be workshopped, I think? Why are you against that actually happening? After a few days later, Victim 2 said, what are the steps? Step 1 you would be taking to have to take you on a date. What's the strategy guide? Hey guys, when you get fired for for being a creep, maybe you shouldn't sue the company that's going to have receipts.
Don't do that. Yeah. Exactly. Fucking hell.
I'm not saying you should stick up for big companies like this because all of them are not in it for you. But when they fire you for being a skis bag and they have proof that you were a skis bag, maybe you should just not incriminate yourself from ever being employed anywhere else ever again.
Don't. Yeah, maybe don't.
I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm not flirting. I'm married. You're right, Umbreon. Yeah, this should just... Anyway, all right. So we're not going to talk about it for long, but Kiona, I want to talk a little bit about State of Play. What were the games you liked the most from it?
Oh, shit. Oh, God. Okay. So obviously Metal Eden. That looked very, very good. I think Saros or Saros, however they pronounce it. The Returnal 2, basically.
Yes.
Looked really cool.
They have said it was Returnal 2.
Rahul looks great in that game, by the way. The actor from iZombie and everything, he just looks fantastic in that game. I'm so happy that he's got a starring role in something. Yes. Even if it's a game. I'm so happy he has a starring role. So I also really liked Mind's Eye. I thought that looked very cool.
Yeah.
That reminded me. I think it was like former. They're like a team that's made up of former GTA developers, correct?
I think.
Yeah. So I think it looks really neat, and it reminded me of Headhunter Redemption for the Dreamcast. That's what it reminded me of initially, at the very least. And oh god, what else was there?
Last Soul Aside finally got its big everything.
Okay, yes. Lost Soul, or is it Last Soul or Lost Soul?
Lost Soul Aside.
Lost Soul Aside, yeah, that looked fantastic. I rewatched the whole event. I don't know why I'm blanking right now. It's because I'm on.
Hell Is Us looked really good, and
Tides of Annihilation looked very good. Tides of Annihilation looks awesome. The only complaint that I have about Tides of Annihilation is I'm not crazy about the voice acting.
I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking.
I know you're joking. Yes. But like, no, I just think that like, I'm not one of those guys.
It's very British. It's very British voice acting.
Super British. And I think too that what they needed to do was get maybe a different voice for the main protagonist, or just switch out like the child voice actor and the main protagonist. Because they sound so similar to me. Maybe it's just my ears, but they sound similar to me. And so I thought that like, I don't know. But anyway, the game itself looks incredible.
It's stand battles with Knights of the Round Table. How fucking cool is that?
Fucking cool. Like, it reminds me sort of a little bit of Final Fantasy 16 in that regard.
Yeah. Just
because you have like the different abilities that you can sort of access and stuff like that. It's different though, because it is more like a stand, like you said, like a JoJo's kind of thing. What else was there that looked really cool? What was the name?
Fiction they showed more of.
Split Fiction looked great.
Shinobi looked awesome.
Fucking awesome. We're getting like a 2D Ninja Gaiden and a 2D Shinobi game all at the same time almost. That's crazy to me. I'm so happy that they are. So other than that, was there anything else? I feel like there is, but I'm forgetting. I feel like there is, but I'm forgetting. Wait,
Hell Is Us looked really good.
Yeah, Hell Is Us looked really good.
Liza P DLC looked phenomenal.
Liza P looked great. Onimusha looked fantastic.
The Sonic racing game looks really freaking good. I'm excited about that.
That does actually look really good.
So
we had that. Directive 8020 looks excellent.
That'll be getting played. Borderlands look good. But
Borderlands, it was, I'm not sure if I'm going to get that WWE game, but it was cool to see Paul Heyman come out there and do his ladies and gentlemen.
Effect.
My name is Paul Heyman. I just love seeing that. Okay. And apart from that, I am so down for a lot of these new games and stuff, even though like they're not the biggest titles, but I think like when you got, solid games. And again, that's where we're looking, right? We're looking for these games that are maybe not as well known, like they're not as big as AAA games, but they're cool. Yeah. And I think that a lot of the time when you're dealing with AAA games,
look great too.
The new Digimon game, dude, that freaked me out, man. That's like, I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. Either. So that was really cool.
Yeah. But all right, we're on to the movie stuff, which is not gonna lie, mostly just DC and Marvel. All right, so buckle in, folks. We're gonna talk some comic shit. All right, Marvel Studios executive cleared up something that I've been wondering on for a while. Marvel studio executive Brad Winderbaum confirms that Tom Holland's Spider-Man cannot appear in live-action MCU Disney Plus shows. Sony has the long-form television rights. We can only do 30-minute animation.
Wow.
So for anybody who's expecting any other than a comment of the kid that dresses like a spider to show up in Daredevil Born Again, it's not happening.
I'm not surprised, but it's kind of nice to have some clarity. And also the original contract existed before Disney Plus existed too. So that might also be a little bit of it as well.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
We're actually more likely to get like Daredevil show up in a Spider-Man
movie
than the other way around.
Which we technically have.
Technically.
But all right, so speaking of Daredevil, this is going to upset there's this thing that's going to happen that's going to upset a lot of people. It upset us too. When we signed on for the job, the decision was already made. Charlie Cox on the traumatic event. I'm still not convinced it's the right thing to do, but we have to come back big and bold. We've got to make a statement after all these years away. What it does do is it's a wonderful catalyst for the rest of the story. So who are you buying's dying, Foggy or Karen?
Karen. It's not Karen because she'll be back for season 2.
Is she be back in season 2 in flashbacks?
Maybe.
Okay, fair point.
It's called Born Again. See, that's the thing. Born Again, if you read the original story, Karen goes through some shit.
But they all... Okay, now correct me if I'm wrong. This is technically continuing off of the Netflix show.
Yeah, so
wasn't season 3 Born Again? The entire storyline?
Kind of in terms of her story, yes. Kind of.
They said to a degree, Born Again is them saying that it's on Netflix or that it's not on Netflix anymore.
Essentially, they're using it more as a throwback to the original story, but also as a,
But that screams to me one of those two's dying.
Yeah, maybe it's Foggy. I mean, Foggy would be the more likely.
Which, I'm going to be honest with you, they said that was in the deal when they signed on. I am one of these people that think that everyone jumped their shit way too fast when they saw that Foggy and Karen weren't in all of the photos being taken on, because maybe they're not in the show that long. They might have been there the entire time.
Fans are stupid and don't deserve anything. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. Wait, are you trying to tell me that people misjudge things based on what they've seen in trailers?
I don't know.
So they will misjudge people for much less.
If I made me start playing Deadfire just out of context for the dating option, good lord. If you like the blue fish man in Avowed, you should play Mass Effect Ghost Pringle if you haven't already. You might like his voice in it. That's all I'm saying. All right. Who here has seen A Brave New World?
I think just you and I
have.
Oh, you have?
I have. Yes, I have.
Cool. All right. So, what do you think the post-credits scene was about?
There are worlds beyond worlds. Worlds of worlds.
So you think it was about the multiverse? Wrong! It was about the Illuminati, according to the director.
Sure it was. Sure it was.
I mean, I don't want to be one of those people that says the MCU, other than Deadpool and Wolverine, is cooked, but I think there might be a little cooked.
I'm going to be honest with you. This is one of the most overhated films the MCU has ever put out.
Yeah,
overhated. Yes,
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it as much as other people did. I just felt like it wasn't as good, obviously, as the other Captain America films. But at the same time, I didn't get, it didn't make me violently hurl.
No, and everyone's saying that we didn't have films like this in the original 3. We had a lot of pretty basic bitch-ass films in the first 3 phases. Everyone likes to forget
revisionist history. Like, no, it hasn't. I mean,
here's the thing. I wish.
So basic.
Go ahead, Bree. I'm sorry. I
was just gonna say.
Of a rant coming up.
Okay, yeah, no, just build it up. Just save your strength. All right. I mean, yeah, most of the MCU, like, even the first Avengers movie is honestly kind of basic, which is why it kind of worked.
Yes.
You know, but if you look at, like, the Avengers now versus, like, the other movies that came out, it's plot is almost, and I mean this in like an endearing way, almost like made for TV. Like it is like the most basic of basic plots.
It's a hangout movie until the Chitauri come.
Right, and you know what? For like the first movie of its kind, that's fine because there was no. I mean, the Avengers literally had like nothing to compare it to. Like it was the Avengers. Like no one really had conceived of like a build up to like a big crossover movie. Like legit, like it hadn't been done. So there was no like prerequisite of like, okay, what should these movies be like, right? So, and everything I've heard about Brave New World is just. I've been busy and just haven't rushed to see it, but everything that I've heard is that it's not even like bad, but it's more the fact that this was a concept that they could have gone harder with and they just kind of played it safe.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, Keanu, go.
Okay, now about your Avengers comments. So the one thing that I want to say about that is that, like, for me, the Avengers, the reason why it's one of my favorite comic book movies still to this day is because it read like a team-up comic. That's entirely what it was. Team-up comics are the stupidest things ever, okay? They are like the dumbest freaking plots. Because what it is the like, okay, so like a writer goes, let's have Wolverine fight whoever. Let's have Iron Man fight Captain America. Okay, so then this is what happens. They go and they're like, oh shit, you're Captain America. Oh shit, you're Iron Man. And then they start fighting each other, right? Because it's a misunderstanding. And then everybody comes together in the end and they go and they fight the real actual villain that was trying to take them out in the first place. And that's like the whole idea behind Avengers. It's entirely a team-up movie. It's a team-up comic made into a movie. It's the most distilled adaptation of what that is. Anyway, so like with Brave New World, here's the thing. It's a Sam Wilson Captain America movie that doesn't really focus on Sam Wilson and doesn't really give him like villains or like a story that is based around him and like centered on him, except for like the opening third, maybe, because they actually have like Isaiah Bradley. And they have that whole cool like sequence where like, you know, spoilers if you guys haven't seen it, but you know, I mean, Isaiah Bradley basically goes, you know, he's controlled, like mind controlled. But essentially,
if they don't get that from the trailers, that's their own fault.
yeah, exactly. But like, you know, that I thought that was an interesting sort of path that they were going down when we initially got to that part. But what they do is it then becomes clean up for the Incredible Hulk movie. From like 2000 and when was that?
2008?
2008, 2009, 2008?
Like that.
Good Lord. It was so long ago. So a 17-year-old Hulk movie, basically, and they're batting cleanup on this. I just feel like, although I enjoyed seeing the actors back, and I, you know, obviously, like, I enjoyed seeing the most pointless cameo ever by Liv Tyler.
I am just shocked as fuck she was actually in that movie.
I'm surprised that she was in there. Yeah, I'm very surprised by that. But like, you know, it wasn't like a bad idea behind the movie. I just feel like them using it to clean up plot points from the Eternals and the Incredible Hulk. Maybe that's a little bit of a disservice to Sam Wilson himself as a character, because I feel like they could have done so much with him that they did not want to do, or that they felt was going to be too controversial or whatever. I wish that this movie had actually had something to say, and I don't feel like it did, other than the prototypical at the end of the thing, you know, Sam just going, well, if we can't see the good in each other, then what are we even doing wrong? And I'm just like, you're that's a slightly muddled message to be sending into the world right now when, you know, anyway, I don't want to get political, but regardless, I just think that, like, I wish that it was focused more on Sam and focused on like his struggles and his character, and maybe base the movie around that instead of basing the movie around something that happened in two other films. However, Adamantium finally being introduced is very, very cool. I'm excited for that. And I'm also excited for the implications because it means that we've never seen adamantium in the MCU before. The X-Men, like, where have they been? Does it even exist? Is there a Weapon X project? I mean, technically,
that's what I was
if
just
you look
telling
at
Mike, that we have adamantium before the X-Men this time.
yeah, and it's like, technically, Captain America was kind of part of, if you look back at Grant Morrison and what he established in New X-Men, it's like it's part of the Weapon program, the Weapon Plus program, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm kind of interested in seeing like where the hell this all goes and how they're going to introduce the X-Men now. I'm very intrigued by that.
I hope what they do when they introduce the X-Men is don't introduce Wolverine just yet. Let the adamantium be a new thing, and have Weapon X kind of be in the background for like a couple movies.
Yeah. Well, what did you guys think of the Red Hulk stuff? Because I thought it was actually kind of interesting.
That's one thing I was going to talk about. I've talked with Mike about this, and I have to talk with you, Kiona. I am a person that truly believes that 9,000 times out of 10, a trailer does not ruin a movie. This is the first time in my life where I feel like the trailers actively actually fucked this movie.
Yep.
Because the entire movie is based around when is he going to turn into the Red Hulk?
Yeah,
is he? And then they show you in the trailers when he does, and then they show you like 6 times in the movie when you're like, oh, is he going to turn? No, because you're not by the Sakura pedals yet, so no, he's not gonna. So all the buildup and everything is just, no, you're not gonna do it till that time because we're not at that moment yet. Somebody gets to the podium, we're like, okay, now I believe you when you start turning.
Yeah.
I did see someone make a possible script correction of what they would have wanted this to do. Someone proposed the idea, and it would have been erasing an X-Men character from history, which, if they're going to do MCU, it's whatever, about... I like that they were trying to, in me personally, and I said this, I like that they were actually trying to make Ross a person who genuinely, for once, was trying to be a good guy.
Same.
Yeah, it seemed like he was genuinely trying to change.
That's not something they do with Ross very often.
No, it's
now,
really not.
I saw a person make a comment that if they were going to have Ross be fully evil, and they had them showing more of like he was trying to get this accord sign so that they could get adamantium, and he didn't end up at in the raft, is that he was trying to get the adamantium because he was going to be the one that was going to start the weapons program.
Ooh, okay. I could actually buy that. Yeah.
So I was like, that's not exactly
would have been
a
cool
good idea, but yeah.
I think the villain of the movie should have been Giancarlo.
Yes.
I think he should have been the absolute villain of the movie. I think he was taken out way too fast.
If they actually went through with the Serpent Society being being the main antagonist, like that would have probably helped to give Sam more agency in the story and him not just reacting to
build it around him instead of building it around the leader.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that role originally written for Seth Rollins?
No, I got that corrected. Seth Rollins and one other character were different Serpent Society members that got cut from the movie.
Okay.
Yes. What Seth comments made it sound like Giancarlo was that, but what he was technically saying, I guess, was his role as the main person you see from the Serpent Society was taken over by Giancarlo.
Okay, that makes more sense.
All right, that makes more sense, but still, it feels like, I guess what I'm getting at, that it was a leftover version from that version of the script, and they just never changed it in rewrites. So I'm like, okay, why is the Serpent Society even here then?
Yeah. And honestly, having the leader in this movie was not a bad thing. But again, it would have been better if you had all this shit happening in the background and the leader was just almost, if never even announced to be in the movie. He was just a Marvel villain that was pulling strings behind and getting shit set up.
Yeah.
Because if you would have had him dealing with the Serpent Society and the Red Hulk, and like he was the one taking him through the Serpent Society, making him not think about what he was about to do to Ross, and at the end he's like, good, the real enemy's over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like he could have been used in a much more interesting way, I felt. Because obviously Tim Blake Nelson, great actor. And like I thought the look of the character was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought they did a good job with that. I wasn't sure how they were going to pull that off, but they did a decent job. And I think Red Hulk, in terms of the action sequence, I think it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Falcon's like suit upgrades that he had, like being able, the Wakandan technology and stuff like that was cool. Yeah, so I mean, I like the movie had all the pieces in it. It just didn't really coalesce together. But in terms of, I would say that it wasn't like a bad film. I would agree with Umbreon, actually. I would say it's a B-.
Yeah,
it's not like it's not horrible. It's not the worst that I've ever seen. I think it was better than that Incredible Hulk movie myself personally. But
That's what I'm saying. Treating it like it's we're talking Thor: The Dark World levels. I'm like, no, not even fucking close.
I also, one thing I had to say, I love that for the longest time, everyone had this thorn in their side about admitting the fact that the Incredible Hulk movie was in the MCU, despite the fact that Robert Downey Jr. shows up in the most not logically thought out after credit scene ever. But they were okay with admitting that Edward Norton's Hulk was in it because they wanted to bitch and make excuses about how weak Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is because he lost to Thanos with half an Infinity Gauntlet. When, remind you, Norton's Hulk, without assistance, couldn't beat Abomination.
Yeah.
So, you sure that guy was going to take down Thanos without any help? Really?
I mean,
by the way,
they're at least consistent.
And that whole fight was a rework of the original Infinity Gauntlet scene in the comics where Thanos beat up Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Oh,
the power cosmic could not defeat Thanos.
Yes, no, but that makes him weak because he lost against one of the biggest bads in Marvel, period.
It was just to establish that Thanos is a really tough foe. That's exactly, it's putting him over in wrestling terminology. It's putting him over.
Right, and not only that, he like took out Loki. So I'm like,
yeah, he was taking out gods.
Like at that point, was kind of like, the Thanos like big bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Moving on to some DC stuff here. So they've announced some things. A, that there's a Teen Titans movie in development. Starfire and My Adventures with Green Lantern are also in development and a lot further along than the Teen Titans thing because they actually showed time cards. And they also shared that Peter Safran and James Gunn have confirmed they have a 6-year plan that would include an Avengers game style culmination.
I wonder where they learned that from.
I can't imagine.
Well, at least they learned their lesson that you need at least, 4 films to do a team-up movie.
I was told you only need 2. Come on. But, yeah, having Starfire lead her own show, I think is awesome.
I think that's kind of cool, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for this just for more cosmic animated series.
Mm-hmm. Now, it'll be interesting to see what direction they take Starfire with.
Yeah, definitely. Are they going to go like the OG version?
I don't know.
I mean, that's what I think, because I don't think the OG version has really been explored at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The closest thing, if we're talking about the sex pot alien and not the Teen Titans version, you did get the closest thing to that would have been in the, what did they call those version of movies? The newest version of the DC animated universe that was basically a lot of New 52 stuff.
Yeah.
Like they had her in the Teen Titans movie, that Justice League versus Teen Titans, where they openly like it was quite obvious that her and Nightwing were fucking. So
yeah, pretty obvious.
But it'll be interesting to see how they do that, because if they're gonna make it an animated show and they do make her look like how she used to look, I don't know how they're gonna do that.
I don't know either.
It'll be similar to Jaws, like Amethyst Princess. I do not know either of those.
Amethyst Princess of Gem World. Oh.
I do not know either of those.
For DC Nation, though.
I will have to look.
Yeah, those were like old shorts from like
those are the
decade
shorts
ago.
Yeah. I know they made like they had an Amethyst comic for a while there.
Yeah, I read the New 52 run of Amethyst. That was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. One last little comic thing here, because it makes me giggle at the fact that what the implications of this are. Jeff Trammell said that he wasn't allowed to use the Fantastic Four or Big Wheel and the Neighborhood Spider-Man. Does that mean that I'm going to get Big Wheel and something else that they call dibs? Don't give me dreams.
Give me hope.
Why would you specifically state that you weren't allowed to use Big Wheel?
I don't know, but I need it now.
A, that means you wanted to use Big Wheel and you couldn't. But also they had to tell you, no, that's being used somewhere else. How did two people want to use Big Wheel at once?
What if Big Wheel shows up in Fantastic Four?
I will lose my shit.
I
tell you now, I will cartwheel naked out of that theater if Big Wheel shows up.
Do it.
I'm telling you now.
Do it, Brock.
Or if he is the new big bad of the first Spider-Man trilogy, first movie in the Spider-Man trilogy. Not Green Goblin, not anyone else. She's fighting Big Wheel.
All right. Well, actually, technically, Moon Girl is in the MCU if you count the theme parks as canon, because she does make a cameo in the Disneyland Spider-Man ride, which has Tom Holland. So I guess that's canon, maybe?
All kidding aside,
we're still to see you.
I actually do want to see Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur in some MCU project. Maybe not in live action, but I definitely want to see her in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, maybe season 3.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to just throw you. For those who are not watching, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is fantastic. They do one of the stupidest versions of one of my most hated plot devices in all history. Other than that, the show is freaking phenomenal. It is the first. It is the first Spider.
Nice. Okay.
It's the first Spider-Man show where I feel like I legitimately can't right away tell you what the storylines are going to be. Yeah, because they have just the most random group of people around Peter, and it feels really refreshing. Like, they have Runaways characters. They have Lonnie before he turns into Tombstone. They've got all of this shit going on, and it's awesome. They have
Runaways
NFL Supermax in there.
Yep.
What? A character I didn't know existed.
What?
Lonnie's football coach is the
NFL
I don't know,
Super Pro?
NFL Supermax. Look him up. I'm not lying.
NFL Supermax. Wait, hold on. I remember there was a Super Pro guy.
It is
Super Pro.
Yeah, Super Pro.
He's Lonnie's football coach.
Also, there you go.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
That's
Moon Girl.
That's Moon Girl. Okay, gotcha. But anyway, they also have
oh my god, that's
they have
insanity that they have.
They have Wave.
All right.
With their not normal identity. They have all these people that are just waiting to have their powers announced. There's like 16 of them that they can announce at any time. So they have a bunch of, you don't know what we're going to do type of characters. and it's written really well. The legit only complaint, and I've just gotten used to it, they are literally just having the main character do a Tom Holland impersonation. It's the only voice I don't like. And it's gotten better, and I've gotten used to it.
For other reasons, because correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't this originally like sold as a Spider-Man Year One show that is supposed to be the MCU, and then it wasn't?
Yeah. They
sort of
began development as like its original title was Spider-Man Freshman Year, but then something went wrong, or I don't know if it went wrong. They just went in a different direction.
But it's the weirdest thing where the MCU lives here, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man lives here, and every now and then they knock on the front door and go, hey, can we hang out for an episode? And then they leave. Like, they literally exist next to each other and interact when need be.
I'm telling you right now, we have a pipeline for the NFL Super Pro to get into the MCU, so I'm happy about that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, the artwork shouldn't work the way it does. Everyone just watch it. It's really good. And the intro song in it is a fucking banger. So, yeah.
Honestly, like the art direction, even though it was off-putting at first, but like in terms of them trying to mimic the Ditko sort of style, that was neat.
Well,
I thought that was kind of
cool. The whole vibe
cool.
I got from it is that clearly it was a little bit inspired, like stylistically wise, from like the JoJo openings, like that kind of like stylized CG.
Interesting.
I don't know if I've seen the show. I wouldn't go exactly that way, because it's got a different fluidity to it. I don't quite know how to explain it without having you just see it, but it's interesting. It is a show that I didn't have that much of an interest in, and then 2 episodes in, I could not wait for the next one to start. So, take that for what it is. All right. This just in, I had no idea that people who owned Bond's last name was Broccoli. Amazon is going to be getting Bond now. Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, because oh boy, that's a made-up Stan Lee superhero name if I've ever heard one, will remain co-owners of Bond but are stepping back to focus on other projects. Thoughts on Amazon getting Bond?
I've got lots of thoughts. Not most of them are not great because
Wait, what? You know what? James Bond Origins?
Oh God, no.
The 007 franchise was one of the last like big Hollywood. Well, not even Hollywood because it's mostly British. It's one of the last like
mostly
primarily mostly. Anyway, this was one of the last like producer driven movie franchises that's now been taken over by a big giant corporation. So what's going to happen is, and granted this is all speculation, we don't know like specifically what their plans are. We're just kind of assuming the worst. Oh, yeah. Barbara Broccoli called Amazon idiots for calling the franchise content, and that's what I'm worried that Amazon is going to do. They're going to turn the 007 franchise into basically what Star Wars has become.
Now, if we're going to be honest, if they do anything with it, because they can do good action, anyone who sees Reacher and disagrees with that, you are not subjected. You're 1,000% wrong. Now, if you say that they can mishandle the property, you're 100% right. Because they can. They've shown that they can do good things with properties that are in the action genre if they let those people do it. But James Bond isn't Reacher, so they're going to try to probably goat more of it out of than just a TV show or something like that, which at its core, James Bond could be a great TV show.
Oh, sure. But
kind of.
I think
to be honest.
I think what I'm just worried about is oversaturation.
Yeah.
Like I want these movies to still feel special, like to feel like events.
Yeah.
Now, as far as quality goes, I'm not going to say that every single Bond movie has been great. Die Another Day is just genuinely awful, but at least it's awful for organic reasons and not just
it's like special awful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, going on from that. A thing that has been spoiled on the internet that I was shocked it hadn't been officially announced because I've heard TikTokers talking about this exact plot for the show for a while. The new Avatar show.
Yeah.
The Seven Havens. Which, oh boy, did I remember that Korra is bad because female chats are starting again.
I know, like clockwork. And I was like, because here's the thing, like, here's my prediction is that, yes, the thing like Korra ended the world as though Korra actually saved the world and did like, the thing. But seriously, like, I don't even know why Reich even like said it, especially if like, because here's the thing with Legend of Korra, like, I think we've moved on from having to need Legend of Korra discourse. I think we can acknowledge that Legend of Korra is a very good but very flawed show, and
it's a show that got made against the will of Disney, or against the will of Nickelodeon, who tried their best to make the show not happen.
Right, and you know what, and like, especially because I remember like back in the day, like what they did with like the finale, that took like fucking balls, because just for like context, like gay marriage wouldn't be legal in the United States for like another like 6 months. Like they put their necks out for that, and I'm like, and a lot of the representation in like modern media is directly because Legend of Korra, and like, I don't care if you don't like that fact, that is an undisputable truth.
It's true.
Yeah,
but like,
I love that show. I love
but
Korra
like, here's
so
the thing too, that I love her getting like another like female avatar. So like, part of me, like, I don't know if the way the two of them like phrased it was like the best, but it also says, you know what, fuck you, we're doing another female avatar. because let's be honest, a lot of the discourse of her on Korra as a character, and that she's not Aang, is because she has a vagina. I'm just saying, let's just be real here.
You're very not wrong.
They had more stuff go wrong in her series to show that she handles stuff differently because she isn't Aang.
Right. And also, Legend of Korra is, more of a 13 plus show, versus Avatar The Last Airbender, which was a, 6 to 11 show. Because stuff happened in Korra that would have never, ever happened in Avatar The Last Airbender.
I would agree. Absolutely. I'm excited. I love how everyone the world went into shit because she failed them, like, or she saved it. We have no idea. People can perceive things
and then
badly.
The world just goes to shit anyway. You know what I mean? Like what
I'm kind of hoping that it actually is. It's sort of like a Princess Mononoke type deal where it's like post-apocalyptic, and that like Korra was trying to do stuff with like nature, and because humans suck, they're like, oh, she did a bad thing.
That's what it's going to be. She's going to be shown as the person that did the bad thing. And everyone's like, well, if you look at history correctly and what she actually did, she wasn't, because you're a fucking moron and just hated her anyway. But yeah.
And like the other thing is, if you look at like the final book of Korra, like I feel like it's a lot of it's going to be of like the spirit vine weapons, because at least, that's like some back, it's obviously, because a lot of Avatar is so like obviously inspired by Miyazaki. It's definitely going to be like a nature related, apocalyptic event.
Yeah, I'm just excited. It looks cool.
I'm curious to see if they like use Korra in any way, or like Asami or any of the characters from the show.
I'm sure we'll see like flashbacks or something.
There'll be something with it.
In the same way that like Toph was in Korra, everything. Yeah.
They'll do something with it. All right. One that I saw 15 different versions of this popping up, but I liked Ethan's response to this the most. Ethan Hawke says it's crazy to cast actors based on their Instagram followers. Fucking insane. Sometimes I'll be setting up a movie and someone will say, oh, you should cast Susie. I'm like, who is she? She has 10 million followers. I'm like, okay, cool. Has she acted before? They'll go, no. But and you're like, wow, so this is going to help me get the movie made? This is crazy. So if I don't have this public facing platform, I don't have a career. And if I get more followers, I might get that part. What? So many young actors think that being an actor is protein shakes and going to the gym. Go to the gym if you want to, but it doesn't make you an actor. Robert De Niro is not great because he has a six-pack. If it calls for the part, he'll do it, and that's awesome, but he's so much more than that. I saw 17 different versions of this because there was someone who was making a movie who, I can't remember who it was.
One correction. That was not Ethan Hawke. That was his daughter, Maya Hawke.
Oh, and the thing, it was a picture of him underneath it. Because I saw a different response from Maya. That's okay. If that's what it was, it had a picture of him. I swear to God, there was a different response from Maya originally, but either way. But yeah, that's
or maybe it was two different things because Maya Hawke had something else to say similar about like Instagram followers and how if you don't have enough, then like you won't be able to fund your movie or whatever. Hollywood's stupid.
Hollywood is very
stupid. That is stupid. Oh God.
Especially when you consider that statistically followers don't actually, like, they do matter, but also it's not really a good indication of like actual like interaction and possible financial returns. It's a fantasy number, just talent? Like crypto.
Yeah, she also commented on it, but had a totally different can of worms to open on it. So there is also a comment from Maya Hawke on it as well. That's different than what he said. But yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. That's just like, why is Logan Paul in wrestling right now? Because, that needs to be a thing. Anyway, anybody want to feel old? Zoe Saldana on making the Avatar films. I was 28 when I signed on to do 5 films, and I will be 54 when we are finished.
Damn.
Jesus.
I just turned to dust reading that.
That was also, I know I didn't put it in because it's just whatever. We don't need to talk about Harry Potter, but John Lithgow signed on to be Dumbledore, and he openly said that when they wrap filming on the series, he's going to be 87.
How old is he now?
I don't know.
All right, can I just interject with that? Because I don't want this to be a complete tirade. Like, thoughts aside, the fact that, and this has nothing to do with my opinions.
Currently.
And this has, like, nothing to do with, like, my opinions on the series or politics or whatever. But, like, in Florida, they're opening, like, a third Harry Potter land that uses, like, that movie cast. Like, I don't understand the logic of why this TV show even exists when there's so many things like in products and like theme parks that are tied directly to the 2001 to 2011 series.
Because it's going to remake the new one that everyone now will grow up on.
So what are they just going to like ask Universal to like update anything? Like it uses like all the set designs from like those films. Like it doesn't make sense from like a business perspective. That's what they've done at all the Disney stuff. What was the thing that they redid in the Guardians of the Galaxy? They redo the shit whenever it's done. Well, that's like slipping out like a different IP. Like that was just swapping out like the Twilight Zone for Guardians of the Galaxy. That's like not like an intricately themed land. That's just literally doing like a ride replacement.
It's just an update. We don't know that the sets are going to look that different from the ones in the movies. We don't know how easily it's just going to slot A into B, and it's the same thing with different people.
Except, if the ride footage where it's like it's Daniel Radcliffe, it's like all that in like a certain age, and it's like
they can just shoot new stuff. That's what I'm getting at. They're going to have years of footage to redo all this with, because it's going to be a new group of young kids growing up. And then it's going to be parents that still have Harry Potter taking their young kids to the new version of the cool thing. It's going to make them ass loads of money, whether we like it or not.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But why is there a third Harry Potter.
The third Harry Potter park is the stupid part. That is 1,000%
I know. That's based
dumb.
on the Ministry of Magic. Well, here's what exists. So, in theory, this is just based on rumors. It was supposed to be themed to Fantastic Beasts.
Oh.
And we all know how that went out. So, we're like, okay, we already put like millions of dollars into it. Like, we can't like retheme it. So, we'll just vaguely make it the Ministry of Magic because they
have to put something there.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope that there's a new rumor going around that Emerald City might be an expansion pad, and I really hope that is.
Hopefully. All right. Something I know Mike wanted to have some positive comments about. Dean Du Bois has said that he treated How to Train Your Dragon animated film like it was a test screening when making a live action film. The first movie was made in a rush, and I'm super proud of it, but there are things that we could have done better.
How do you say that about one of the best films of the 2010s? Other than this is just like standard BS, like PR nonsense that he just has to say because, you know, Universal's sinking a lot of money into this movie.
I don't know.
But here's like the funny thing, and again, this also ties to Epic Universe. Like, their How to Train Your Dragon's Land is completely based on the animated version. So I'm like, why are we even doing this?
Ask Disney.
Now, to be fair, there was another comment that Dean Du Bois said where he basically admitted, "I'm doing this movie because I don't want anyone else. I don't want anyone else to F it up."
Yeah, they're doing it because it's going to make them merchandise sales.
Basically.
Yeah. One of the best actors. Yeah. All right. Not a big thing to talk about, but I just thought it was funny. The monkey director, Osgood Perkins, confirms they had to use drums instead of cymbals because of in the film because Disney has copyrighted a cymbal clapping monkey for Toy Story 3.
You know what I want to wonder is, like, how the hell, like, did Disney manage the copyright with that? Like, what witchcraft was summoned?
I don't know. That's such a specific copyright. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
So specific, honestly.
I'll be honest though. Having actually seen the monkey, the snare drum is actually
it works better.
Yeah, it's actually a lot more effective.
Because I'd imagine you could kill someone easier with a snare drum than cymbals.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just. It's the way that the monkey is wound up. Once the drumstick hits the drum, that's when people die.
Got it.
Well,
okay.
I mean, you know what happens when you don't properly wind up your monkey.
Exactly.
I have erectile dysfunction for a different reason, Kiona. We did not need to talk about
Sometimes you just got to spank it a couple of times.
Sometimes you just got to get it to get going in the right direction. Okay. Mike, didn't they say that J.A. Benoit was going to be the Clayface director? Did I see that correctly?
They actually don't have anyone locked in yet. Right now.
I wanted to make sure before I started because they have the whole thing. Clayface is described as a Hollywood horror story that follows a B-movie actor who injects himself with a substance to keep himself relevant. So the plot is the character Clayface. So it's Clayface. I just love how they're like, the plot. J.A. Benoit's Society of Snow was I to direct, and Wadlow was reportedly never in the mix, supposedly. New details, it's rumored to be a horror thriller tragedy. Clayface. The character is not expected to be portrayed as a notorious villain, as he's known in the Batman canon. They're probably going to make it a Joker-esque movie where he's a tortured actor, whatever, which I actually think would be a really cool idea if you do that properly with Clayface. DC is meeting with directors next week. Casting process has reportedly begun.
So right now, the director who is currently in negotiations is James Watkins. He just directed an American remake of, I think it was a Swedish film called Speak No Evil. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's a Danish film.
Yeah.
So James Watkins did an American remake last fall, and it's actually pretty good.
Nice.
I'm kind of hoping now they get James McAvoy to play
That
Basil
would-
Carlo, because that would
that'd
be
pretty cool.
that would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty
That
cool.
would actually be cool. Yeah.
All right. Another one that I put in here literally just because of the description. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Just
Oh my
considering
god.
the actor.
Yes.
A new
Yes.
TV series, Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter, is in the works at Amazon. The series follows a reality where Taylor Lautner wrapped his filming on the final Twilight film and vanished from the spotlight to join a society of werewolf trackers who need his unique expertise. I need more
Taylor
shows
Lautner.
like this that just are like, hey, that movie we're in, we're going to take the shit out of it. I need more
Yeah.
things like this.
This
Taylor Lautner
sounds
playing Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner.
this sounds like the Twilight version of Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
It does. It so does.
It does.
No, honestly, like I'm like low key hyped for it. Like if he can bring the level of camp, because I'm pretty sure Taylor Lautner was in Scream Queens.
Could be.
Like if he can be that level of camp,
I hope so.
Taylor Lautner is Taylor Lautner.
Here's the thing, though, Umbreon, by making the most uncreative idea, this is the most creative thing they can do. Because I wouldn't have thought of this, but this could legitimately be fucking hilarious.
It could. As long as they approach it that way and don't try to make it like,
Serious.
yeah, please approach it like it's supposed to be a satire, because
I'm the same way, Heisers. I hated Twilight.
funny.
I've literally only seen one because my girlfriend dragged me to it, but this I'll watch in a heartbeat. As long as they make a sequel somehow where Robert Pattinson hunts vampires. Or they just run into him where he's like, hey, what are you doing nowadays? I'm helping some people with some stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm helping some people with things too. And he walks away and Pattinson's like reading a book on how to kill vampires.
Pattinson
It'd be
just comes up to
awesome.
him in full Batman regalia.
He's like, oh, so you turned into a bat now, huh? Got it.
But I'm still sparkling.
Yes. All right. Rumor. The live action Miles Morales will be a part of the rebooted Sony universe set to be established after Avengers Secret Wars. This is something I actually hope to God they do.
Casting Miles Morales is going to be one of the hardest jobs that
It's going to be
Sony
a
can do.
tough one, honestly.
Yeah. It should
Yeah.
be a complete unknown, in my opinion.
So Timothy
Yeah.
Chalamet.
Timothy Shamalama Ding Dong. No,
yeah,
it-
white Conda forever.
They, oh, they need to do what they did with Spider-Man, where they like legitimately got Tom Holland, who was a 16-year-old at the time playing a 16-year-old, to do it. Ryan Gosling, god damn it, I knew someone was gonna say it. I knew someone was gonna, but yeah, it needs to be someone unknown that can just be like, this guy is Miles. That was the one. Heisers, you made my day. You did it, and I knew it.
There you go.
I was waiting. That was the other one. If anyone has not seen, I want to say it's a College Humor skit where they have a guy playing Scarlett Johansson's agent.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh,
yes.
it's the best. There's that one and the Nicolas Cage one. They're so funny. It's one of the best skits they have ever. That and the Brennan does a thing where he's the CEO for certain things, and like the one for
Yes.
Tide Pods. Oh my gosh. Everyone treat yourself. It's some of the funniest shit you'll ever watch.
My
it's so
favorite's
good.
the Oreo one.
Or what is the one where they make a cheeseburger into a shaving utensil? I can't. Or like the Tide Pod ejector paste. Like we'll watch it while we're waiting for this thing to load. Because fucking hell, those are hilarious. But anyway, so moving on, we're into the others. This is just a short comment because I thought it was freaking hilarious. It's been a while. We didn't get to report on the Super Bowl all that much, but I saw this comment and I thought it was fucking funny. Tom Brady roasts Travis Kelce over Super Bowl focus, suggesting if he had focused on football instead of Taylor Swift, the Chiefs would have a three-peat. And Jason Kelce hits back with, I love Tom Brady, but if he had focused on his wife, he'd have a wife right now.
Oh, shit!
That's good.
Oh my God.
That is good.
Damn.
I love Jason Kelce so fucking much.
No
He's the
one
best.
ever fuck with Jason Kelce.
Did you see that
dream.
he randomly just showed up in Philly for the parade and he randomly picked up some kid?
Yeah, I saw that. We have another random that I had to get into here.
Oh my God.
Rey Mysterio reveals that WWE received cease and desist letters from Marvel and DC for his superhero attires. WWE told me, hey, maybe you gotta stop a little bit because we're getting cease and desist letters from.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is that why we haven't seen Penta in his Joker look lately?
I'm gonna guess there's a good chance that's why we haven't. But okay, so those someone call an ambulance, we got a burn victim. All right, so
For real.
I don't know if I've ever announced this on here. We can just get it out. So I myself, I have dysthymia, which is now considered persistent depressive disorder because they changed the designation, OCD and ADHD. Does anyone else here have ADHD?
I'm pretty sure that I might have
Okay.
It's me.
Maybe like some.
OCD, definitely.
Okay, so I saw one of the dumbest tweets. Hey, Red, did you comment
Red.
earlier or did you just get in? Hello. Hi.
Oh,
So
she's been lurking.
Oh,
I said happy
appreciate-
birthday week, by the way, Red.
Happy birthday, Red. If I do not see you for your stream, I'm going to try and get in on your thing on Saturday that Kiona mentioned to us. But I saw a tweet that made legitimately no sense to me. I have one of the worst cases of ADHD ever, and God of War 2018 is better than Ragnarok. Spider-Man is better than Spider-Man 2. Horizon Forbidden West is better than Zero Dawn, aside from the weapons. I don't have ADHD, so I don't take things like narrative, character development, and overall experience into account. So you don't take the game into account.
No, wait, he says, I don't have ADHD, so I take things like narrative, character development, and overall experience into account. Wow, that's... Excuse me, sir, go fuck yourself.
Well, yeah, that.
What?
Right?
Like, make this make sense to me. Make this make sense to me.
What he said at the end doesn't make any sense. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
So if you have ADHD,
He's saying that you don't take narrative, character development, and overall experience into account if you have ADHD?
Have you never met a person
with ADHD?
Exactly. Like, literally, it's like a checklist saying, no, if this doesn't add up, you fool. Like, you look like fucking Pepe Sylvia with the fucking red pins on the wall. Like, what?
Like, I don't.
I wish I could hyper focus on things like narrative, character development, and overall experience like people that actually have ADHD, like that have it worse than I do, or like more than I do, I should say, excuse me. But like, I can't like hyper focus like that.
Also, you can't experience character development, narrative, or my favorite one is overall experience. You can't overall experience something because you have ADHD.
Here's my first bullshit. Like, let's just say, like, gaming and animation. Like, asking if someone in those industries has ADHD is asking if you like pizza. Like, why do you think they're there?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Hyper
God of War,
focus, like Umbreon said.
God of War 2018, I have beaten like 5 times. Ragnarok, I've beaten multiple times. All these games I've beaten multiple times and I've gotten more out of it because of the hyper focus.
See, the way that I am is completely different because I will play a game for like the fact that I'm playing Avowed for as long as I've been playing it this past week is something of a miracle. So, the way that my brain works is I just go and I play something for like a little bit, and then I go and play another thing for like a little bit, and then I go and play another thing for like a little bit. It's a different experience for me. So I don't know what the hell this person's talking about.
No, I just, and like, here's the like thing with me personally, like, because by the way, like, drug synergy is like a thing. Like, if you mix like acetaminophen and like Motrin together, that's like a synergy. If you're on ADHD meds and you mix coffee, it's literally like the scene from Watchmen of Dr. Manhattan, like that.
You can see sound at that point.
Exactly.
Yes.
I can taste colors. Like, what are we talking about? I saw this in my
favorite flavor is blue.
Yes. I'm talking to you in orange right now. Like,
Oh, that's synesthesia.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the blue thing is, I made it a joke because I was in the store earlier and I saw like icy flavored marshmallow peeps. I'm like, wow, I wonder if it tastes like blue.
Also, one of my favorite jokes ever. We're almost done, so I'm just going to tell it. Anyone who's not seen him, please go check out Randy Feltface. He is literally one of my favorite comedians of all time. He's a guy who, it's a puppet operated by a guy, but he was talking about food allergies and his nephew that comes over named Braden. He's like, first of all, don't name your kid fucking Braden. Second, food allergies. What is his food allergies? He goes, Braden can't eat blue. What the fuck do you mean he can't eat blue? There's no naturally occurring blue foods in all of nature. And then someone in the audience goes, blueberries. And he goes, blueberries are fucking purple. Anyone go look up Randy Feltface. I bought a bookshelf and enjoy. It is legitimately one of the best segments in a stand-up routine ever. Or there was an author that I can't remember that he does the life and times of, and it's so good.
Oh, that just reminds me. I just saw a hilarious sketch the other day. I think I sent it to you guys, where like the stand-up comedian was pretending to be the guy who wrote Space Jam.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and then like the plot twist at the end is so good.
Yes, that was fantastic. But does anyone have anything else they would like to bring up?
I think we covered a good, healthy amount.
I'm shocked we got through that in 2 hours. I'm gonna be really honest with you. But
yeah, I'm surprised, honestly.
Yeah, but over the head, your Steve Carell character drinks coffee for the first time. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, let's get on out of here. Randy Feltface and the Times of Ernest Hemingway. Yes. Mike Noah's talking about the life and times of Ernest Hemingway is fucking hilarious. That is so good. So I Wrote a Novel is the stand-up title, if I'm correct. But anyway, Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Renegade Pop Culture. You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need escape? So do we.
Bree.
All right, see if I can do this. Yes. Oh, okay. Except my camera flipped. Fuck. All right.
I was just like, she's got the wrong direction.
No, my camera flipped it because God hates me. Anyway, you can find me at crazylemur.bsky.social. I'm also on Instagram at lemur'srule1. Please check out my podcast, Lay Crap. Episode 2 is up now. We cover The Dragon Lives Again, which I made both the mistake and the joy of watching it completely sober. So if you want to contact High and just see pure unbridled joy, please just watch it. Like, it's so quotable. It is literally now one of my favorite movies of all time. So if you want to just see me completely crash out, like, boy, I have a podcast for you.
Nice. You can find me on Instagram at Threads at Neoplasmic81, also on the Twitter at Neoplasmic24, and you can find me on Blue Sky and Twitch at Neoplasmic. Also, this week on Thursday and Friday and possibly Saturday, I'm hoping that we do Saturday as well, because that would mean that we reached the goal. So you can find me on my friend Red's Twitch channel. She streams at 12 noon Eastern on Thursday and Friday, generally. And that is twitch.tv/some bish named Red. That's bish, B-I-S-H, named Red. And basically I am her co-host, and I am putting together a Jeopardy game board for like questions and stuff and answers for Saturday night. And also I'm going to be taking part in a murder mystery game in which I play a rather, let's say, unconventional priest. So,
dear God.
Yeah, you know what that means. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, and it's of course her birthday on Friday, so very excited to be taking part in that. So if you guys can just, come on by and hang out and hopefully enjoy all the festivities.
All right, nice. And you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. I will be finally back to actually streaming games this week. I will be going back to the formula of one game I've played before, just never on stream, and one new game. I'll be finishing Horizon Remaster. I know that's a game I played before, but I've never played the remaster on stream, and it's technically a new game, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the other will be Eternal Strands, and after Horizon's done, I will be going through the Shadow of games, because Monolith, good lord, I miss you. Missed you already. But
yes,
anyone who is interested in cosplays and conventions and such, somehow someone watching this is going to Anime Milwaukee. I'll be going to there as my next convention next weekend. Sweet. And I forgot to show this earlier, but I've dressed as Virgil before, and anyone who has seen the meme photo, I will not say I'm not dedicated. I got a fake monster can 3D printed just so I could keep this in my pocket and not have to worry about it getting popped. I was quite excited to have this thing get made, so I will always have that on me to make the meme photo. I will have to get a plastic chair somewhere, so I don't know. I'm going to have to find the plastic chair somewhere to fully make the meme photo, because I have the sunglasses to go with it. But that'll be all over on my Instagram. I'll have photos and such from that. And then also the other podcast that I'm a part of, Geeking Out with Athletic Geek 89, me and my buddy Eli go on for about an hour on a just basic topic for whatever we like for that week. And yeah, he's a really good dude. Please go check it out. He's actually the first friend that I ever made at a convention that I met in Kevin Conroy's line. He's a very, very good dude.
Oh, wow.
All right. Until next time, we will see you all later. Bye. Peace.